This is Doubleheader on the Daily. Basketball,
Kobe,
LeBron,
baseball,
Yankees,
Mets,
football,
Cowboys,
Jets,
hockey.
Rangers.
who cares?
Hey sports fans, welcome to Doubleheader here on the Daily. It's where you get the new generation of sports talk. My name is Rob Carlin, and these two gentlemen on either side of me are Kyle and Kevin Dudley. Yes, they are twins, but definitely not identical twins, not in appearance, and certainly not on their views on sports. Now, you guys, for a little background, are sort of born into sports talk and sports debate. Your uncle is Bill Rhoden. He's a legendary sports columnist at the New York Times. Kyle, if I went up to Uncle Bill right now and said, your unbiased opinion, who's won the majority of these arguments over the years, who would he say?
I'll tell you the truth, Rob. Kevin is 2 minutes older than me, but I definitely know more about sports than he does.
I'm older, I'm smarter, better looking. I mean, come on. I've won every argument we've ever had.
All right, well, we'll see who wins the arguments here today. That'll be for the people to decide. Let's get to our first topic. It's baseball. It's all over Sports Talk Radio in New York right now. Derek Jeter's 37 years old. He's obviously not the player he once was, but he's still the highest paid player, shortstop in baseball. Struggling. If you were Joe Girardi, the manager of the Yankees right now, would you actually move him down in the lineup?
Well, Rob, yes, and Kevin's not going to like this, but you must move Derek Jeter down in the batting order. Yes, yes, you do. He should be batting 8th or 9th. If you look at his statistics, I mean, his on-base percentage is .320. He's batting .262. That's simply not good enough for a leadoff hitter. He's 37 years old now. He's not the same player he once was when he was leading the Yankees to multiple World Series titles. 5 of them. Yeah, 5 of them. That was, what, 10 years ago. You know, they won the last one in 2009, but when he was leading them to titles in his prime, that was in the 1990s. He's not the best option anymore. Joe Girardi must make his decision based on production on the field, not on his legacy from the 1990s.
All right, you know what? Don't talk about the Yankees like you know what's going on, okay? Joe Girardi, the management, they're not even having this conversation in the locker room. And you know why? Because Derek Jeter is their guy. He's the captain. He's a clutch player, a career 300 hitter, one of 28 players in baseball to have 3,000 hits. There's no way you move him down in the order. There's nobody that has taken the job from him. To take a job from a guy like Derek Jeter, a 37-year-old veteran who has led this team since he came there as a rookie, you have to take the job from him. And Brett Gardner is batting a little bit better, but guess what? He's not taking the job from him. He has not convincingly won the job from Derek Jeter.
Kyle, let me just ask you here. There are few players in any sport through the history of sports that have really earned the right to make their own call. Don't you think Derek Jeter earned that right? That he could say, okay, I'm ready for the good of the team?
Well, I think it's what's the decision that's going to get the Yankees back to the World Series? The Yankees proved that they could win without Derek Jeter. 14-4 with Jeter on the disabled list was no fluke. No, it wasn't, Kevin. No fluke. Put Brett Gardner at the leadoff spot. He's got a much better on-base percentage, over .370. He's a terror on the bases. He's got over 30 stolen bases. He's the guy who should be leading off. He's the best option.
I mean, that's all I can say when I hear that. But, I mean, you're talking about this small sample size. When Kobe went out in their first title run before in the two-peat that they had, he missed about 20 games, and they were about 14-4, 16 and something without him. When he came back, guess what they did? They put him right back in and gave him 30 shots. You want to know why? Because he's their guy.
Kobe's better than Jeter. Kobe's still
last
got a lot left.
Last year, they were talking about this off year that Derek Jeter had. On Fantasy Sports, he was still rated the 3rd best shortstop. We're talking about the most mental game in sports. You do not take away the job, because then guess what? People start making errors when you start messing with their head. You don't mess with the head of your captain and your clutch hitter.
And it seems to me, though, I know you want to jump in, it seems to me, though, like just on the day he hit 3,000, hits a home run, 5 for 5 that day, it just seems like when the moment is biggest, you know that Derek Jeter is going to rise to that moment.
That's Jeter.
Well, I'll say this. I mean, he just talked about fantasy sports. I'm talking about reality. The reality is move Jeter down if you want to get back to the World Series.
All right, let's move on from Derek Jeter. Let's go to the other shortstop in New York, Jose Reyes, another hot-button topic on Sports Talk Radio. The Mets have a really tough decision to make right now. He's having an MVP season, maybe the best in the game right now. but it's the last year of his contract. If you're the Mets, do you trade him or sign him to a long-term deal?
I mean, who talks about the Mets? I mean, there's such a
we
joke.
talk about the Mets.
All right, Mets fans here. It's like the Mets and hockey are the same thing. Nobody cares. Anyway, Jose Reyes must be traded. Think about it. The Mets have been carried by a bunch of stars that cannot be in the lineup. We're talking David Wright, Carlos Beltran, and Jose Reyes, the youngest of the bunch. Get rid of him while you can, because guess what? If he gets injured again, you're not going to get what you can get from him right now. We're talking about top prospects to a team in contention. That's an easy no-brainer for GMs that have a shortstop need at their spot.
Well, first of all, stop talking bad about the Mets. Me and Rob are Mets fans here.
Easy.
We're not going to tolerate that, all right? And as Mets fans, there is no way we would trade Jose Reyes. He's the best player on the team, having an MVP caliber season. He's arguably the best player in baseball this season. This is the kind of player you build your team around. He's a lot better than the guy in the Bronx, Derek Jeter.
Whoa.
He's also 10 years younger and still very much in his prime. The Mets cannot lose him. If they trade him and they get some prospects back or lose him in free agency, the Mets will be set back for several years to come.
And I have to agree, because I've spoken to GMs in baseball, and they say when you trade for prospects, if you get 10, you hope that two or three pop and make it big. So if you're going to get 2 or 3 for Jose Reyes, you're thinking maybe one makes it and becomes a star, and that could be 3 or 4 years down the road.
I mean, but 3 or 4 years down the road, they'll probably still be in the same position they are now. 8.5 games out of the playoffs. I mean, think about it. Why? I mean, he is the most valuable player on that team, and he's also the most valuable trade piece. He's not worth the money that people are talking about that he's going to get. He's not worth Carl Crawford money. Do you want to know why? Because Carl Crawford's not worth Carl Crawford money. And Jose Reyes has a lot worse injury habit than he does. You can't go on a player who runs with his legs and expect him to carry a franchise, because guess what? He hasn't been able to put together 3 consecutive good, stellar seasons.
Well, I tell you, the Mets better keep him, because if they don't, in a business sense, we already talked about the baseball sense, he's the best player in baseball. In a business sense, he is the fan favorite. He is the best player on the team. If they trade him, the fans are going to be devastated, and you'll see an empty Citi Field.
Well, we've a lot of nights of empty Citi Field. I think I kind of agree with both of you in that I don't think you go for a guy with speed as his game for 7 years, because years 5, 6, and 7 you may regret it. But if they can get him 4 to 5 years, 90 to 95 million, or at least make that offer, I think Mets fans say, all right, we gave him a fair offer. If he didn't want to take it, you know, good luck to him. But it would definitely be a blow.
Who cares about that anyway?
You know what? It's easy to be a Yankee fan. It builds character being a Mets fan.
And there's plenty of season left, all right? We got over 60 games left, plenty of season to make a run at the Wild Card.
All right, now I don't know if I can go there with you, but 2 good debates in the books right now. We will turn our attention to 2 sports that are in lockouts, football and basketball. It's coming up on Doubleheader here on The Daily.